be making their own political stand actually public now. If they indeed, because you know something, man, right? The likes of Tinubu, these are like mafiascos, like mafias, right? So the way they come for things, they come in an aggressive way. That's
I'm coming to that point now, Mayegu. Right. I'm coming to that point. Sorry I took too much time to set the stage, but I'm coming to that point. So now the issue with the behavior of the government towards Dangote. Listen, Tinubu's government is making a very big mistake by fighting Dangote.
And I don't think they know.
They are making the biggest mistake of their government by fighting Dangote. Maegu, let me tell you something. Once an American business gets to a certain stage, when that business runs into trouble abroad, America takes it as it's like an attack on America.
Absolutely.
Look at the issue that Amazon had in France. Look at the issue Amazon has faced in the UK. The American government begins to take it as if it's almost like a part of their foreign policy. There is a point, a business gets to a point of a behemoth. America begins to protect the competitiveness of that company abroad. Let us look at electric cars. China is busy making their bed, is it BYD or something, electric vehicles, competing like mad in the market. An American government's position is they will block Chinese electric vehicles from coming into America at a certain volume. Why? Because they want to protect Tesla.
Tesla that they've been actually build. I mean, part of the money Tesla runs on comes from the American Treasury, so they can't let that waste.
Subsidies. It's called subsidies. You want your company to be economically viable and competitive on the market. Yes. It's called subsidy. When an American there was a year that an American company was going to take over a French behemoth. And I'm talking of ordinary companies, massive companies valued at over 10, 20, 30, 50 billion dollars. Once you become that kind of a conglomerate, you are accounting for close to 5 to 10% of GDP. You don't throw away such a company. I don't care how the person got there. I don't have emotions when it comes to national unity and cost of governance. I don't have emotions.
There shouldn't be.
Danone, because I'm thinking of the people you are employing. I'm not a Dangote fan. Let us put that one aside. I don't agree with his underhanded method, but let's put that aside. There is a French food manufacturer called Danone, Danone. You see their adverts on TV in the UK. They end with Danone. They sell like different things, yogurt and other things. It's a massive behemoth, a massive employer in France. Do you know an American company went into what they call a hostile takeover through the stock to buy majority of their stocks so they could take them over? The French people and the French government say, no, it is a matter of national security. We will not let you buy it. This is a French identity. It's a family-owned business. Family-owned.
It's become a national asset now that must be protected.
It's become a national asset. There's a French company in the UK called Sodexo, Sodexo. They are into massive facility maintenance across NHS sites and everything. Family-owned French company, but they are such a massive behemoth in over 21 countries. Guess what? It has become a national asset for the French government. In America, there is a law. There is a certain section of the law in America that says when a certain company passes a certain valuation in America, it becomes a national asset to be protected.
Must be.
Do you understand my point? And this is what
of Nigeria. This is the major. When we look at this Dangote, right? It is the major individual investment ever in Nigeria history. There is none before or even after it.
Maegu, I stood here and I said I won't say my name. A few years ago, 2014, Nigerian Customs came to do a presentation at Park Lane in London. I attended the presentation. They were trying to woo investors. When Customs, all of them, they finished their presentation, I got up and I said something. I said to the investors in the room, I said, invest in Nigeria at your own peril where there's no rule of law. They look me that day, they won't enter
Like,
ground.
what are you
I
saying?
said,
What are you doing?
I said, invest in Nigeria. People are here slagging me off on the chat line. Me, I went in person to the place where the DG of Customs was in Park Lane. I stood up. When I finished, somebody said they want to interview. I said, don't interview me. I walked away. Nigerians must learn to speak what you need to speak. There are no emotions. I'm not from the north. Do you know how many people Dangote is employing? Do you know the downstream of people, that companies that will be servicing companies to the main company? I told those investors, you better not put your money in Nigeria under this climate. And this Escobar man who has not built all the money that Escobar has stolen from Nigeria, has he invested a dime in Nigeria?
No, it's just take over, own it, get it, take it. That's all he does. He never created anything.
You know the painful thing? If they take this company from Dangote, like he says they should come and buy it, they can't run it. It's a behemoth. They cannot. People are just slagging Dangote off. See, bring 10 of your investors who bring 10 businessmen in Nigeria who are worth 10 billion and hand over Dangote Refinery. In 3 years, they will run it aground. You think it is a joke? You think it is a joke to run those behemoths?
Don't give a damn about that place. It's unfortunate.
Forget all these emotions. This company must be protected.
What we all know how much of Nigeria money is in it. I said it too. I said, I want this refinery to work. Forget about other things. It has to. It must work.
If NNPC buys it, NNPC will run it aground. Shebi, you know, if NNPC buys it, they will steal it to the death.
Yes, now they will steal it in parts so that they can have a budget to write every year about it.
Please let me round up on this. See, you live in the UK, I live in the UK.
Yes, ma'am.
The public water companies were sold to private sector. They've run it aground. They are currently looking for government to come and bail the water company back. Water bill is guaranteed money. They have no competitor. Full monopoly, no competitor. Yet they've run Seven Trent, which I don't know. Sorry, I don't think Seven Trent. They've run one of the water companies. About 2 or 3 need bailout from the government. That is number one. Number two, you are in the UK. Look at the post office that was sold. They've run it aground. They are looking for a Czech billionaire to come and buy it. That is number two. Let's begin to go all across. Look at British Rail that was sold to private sector. Everybody is saying that you see all the polls during the elections. The whole public is saying, buy it back bring it into public service. See, look at Dangote. You see the stress you see on him. Many people, see, there are jobs that I see, I don't apply. Because when you ask, the person before this person, where is the person? He had a stroke. The person before that person, the person who was doing the job too before that person, he has a stroke. It isn't a moi moi.
Then you know, say that. Thank you
2-3 people. The CEO is dead. He had a heart attack. You think the stress you see that got there? It's not people that is making him stressful. It's shareholders' funds. Why do you think Peter Obi refused to invest in Nigeria? Why? See, let me say one sentence before I end. There's something Peter Obi did before he contested for presidency, which was recorded in this newspaper. There's this thing that came out, I can't remember, Panama Papers, when they say, Peter Obi, Dangote, and some other people, they put their money in tax havens. This is why people... Did you hear Dangote say a lot of investors told him, you are mad to invest in such a major thing in Nigeria. You are mad. Peter Obi was recorded in Panama Papers to be among the people to put almost $200 million in a tax haven. I don't know the veracity or otherwise of it, according to Premium Times.
He said he sold all of his stuff in the UK when he was going to media politics.
Till today, that is why the Nigerian government cannot take him down after contesting against them. And this is the mistake that MKO made before contesting. He was exposed in terms of all his assets. Where is MKO today? MKO's children. I heard his son, the interview that his son, Hafsat's son did with Sheun. Did you see it? That when MKO and Kudi, when they both died, that some of MKO's children died of sickness in Nigeria. That was why Peter will be wrapped up on his son. and when to put it in. See, some of us here, we're still playing. When you get to your 40s, you get to your 50s, when you step, your knee is giving you feedback. You will know what it is to fight for 1 naira, make it, and you will hide it with everything you can.
From anybody trying to steal it from you, you will hide it with
from
your life.
From anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you,
so
Let
much.
me go.
I mean, I enjoyed this. So, like, that's an extensive conversation, right? That you have on the on the podcast. I have to be like, okay, yeah, can you explain more on that? We do not have much of that time. So thank you so much, right, for taking out time to share that with us. Really, you have a good one. Okay, so I have another caller. I don't think Aduke is that lucky. We have just 20 minutes to go now. Okay, 20 minutes. So if you are interested in being part of this conversation, it is ideal you warm up and join. So hang on, let me go check if I have if I hear anything from my give me a second from my donors. So I have a caller though. Hello there.
Hello, Michael. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon to you. Our lady, Charm. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm always going to say thank you for the work that you do. And I really appreciate what you do here. Thank you. Today wasn't one of those days I was looking to call. But you know what? Sometimes some people just call in and just say, I don't know why you've called, why you want to make yourself a target, because that's what that lady just did, made herself a proper target. I don't know whether she listens to your show for real, because if she does listen to your show and follows it the way a lot of people do follow you, she wouldn't have called to talk all of that nonsense that she talked, as far as I'm concerned. Well, not wholly nonsense, but mostly nonsense. Regarding
Dangote. You should remember the rule, Charm. I don't approve of that. You understand?
Okay, let me not say,
you disagree
like I said,
with her. You get what I mean?
Okay, let me say I disagree with her. I apologize.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Good.
I disagree with.
I mean, you are not new here yourself, so I mean, you get what I mean. Somebody else is going to also call in, possibly disagree with you, and I would never want them to say anything like that.
Yeah, that's why I said, I did correct myself, but in any case, I do. Let me just put it this way: not nonsense, but I strongly disagree.
And then you
disagree with. Yeah, I disagree with 90% of what she said there. I commend her for the thing that she's done with regards to when she went to Parkland and she spoke up and told people, regarding investing in Nigeria. That was very strong of her to do. But with regards to Dangote and that's submitting that, okay, it's because people don't know how to lobby, because you have to be able to lobby and this and that and the other. I think you really, really don't or underestimate the Nigerian problem, and the problem of certain tribes, existing in that entity. You can't just you can't just chalk it up to people not knowing how to play the game. First of all, if you want to play a game, you have to be invited to play that game. You have to be able to come into the room where that game is being played. You don't tell the people who have been excluded and who continue to be excluded, right, that they don't know how to play the game because they don't understand how, that in politics and things like that, you have to lobby. We haven't gotten to that point where, the UK, you have people who are professional lobbyists and they lobby and they do all of that. We're not yet there. We're not there as a government. We're not there as a society. Okay, so to apply all of that to Nigeria is like apples and oranges. You just can't. You understand where I'm coming from? Now it's again, you've talked extensively, even from Sunday, regarding Dangote, the genesis of his business, and this is not because you said it. I've had people who worked in GT Bank who were account managers for Ibeto and everything. So if they tell you what this person went through because of Dangote and how Dangote destroyed that man's, ability to run his business, all because he wanted a monopoly, right? You won't come on this platform and say things like that.
Okay, there are people who a documentary on it. For anybody interested, you can check YouTube, Ibeto Cement, and now Dangote, something like that. Shaya, it's on YouTube. It was a sad story.
So it's not you or me pulling stories out of our asses about about something like that. This is documented. This is factual. So you can't come on a platform like this and say, to talk about how you have to be wise and everything. Yes, we know we have to be wise. We know we have to be. We have to be able to play some sort of game at the end of the day.
How do you play smart with people that have institutionalized sort of tribalism against you? How do you work that out? I get your point. Yeah. It's like
how do you play a game?
You are already a target. And
you're already a target.
How stop making yourself look like you are a victim. I'm not saying I'm a victim.
Exactly.
You can see it in your system. I'm not the one
you can
saying
see it in your system.
Look at how your system. I get that.
It's like saying, oh, stop saying that you're being marginalized.
Stop.
Actually, we are being marginalized. There is a marginalization to a degree. So
it's been institutionalized.
Exactly. It's been institutionalized. You see it even in when they want to make their ministers. You see it in when they want to make appointments, and you see it everywhere. So you just can't come on the platform
deny it
and
then
you don't minimize it.
Compare US, America, UK with what is obtainable in Nigeria. That would be totally off.
No. Exactly. You can't minimize it. You can't minimize people's day-to-day, the things, their experience, their lived experience, and put it down to, oh, well, you need to learn how to play the game. Like she talked about,
I understand how that make you feel. I actually got you to call it now. I think I get it now. Yeah, when people want to advise, I think I've said that on this platform before as well, Charm, right? That whenever we want to offer advice, and we begin to kind of say, I'm advising this, I'm advising that, and then it comes to the eastern part of Nigeria. There are some things that we must factors that we must kind of put in mind, that there is an institutionalized, if it is in America, you say an institutionalized racism profiling against the Igbos, and that's a different conversation entirely when you want to talk about others. So we should not acknowledge that. So, Charm, I get your point.
Exactly.
Please don't say people talking nonsense next time, please. Okay. But please,
exactly. Like I said,
ma'am,
like I said, even when I said that, I thought about it, and I did even before you said, "Oh, okay, you shouldn't talk." I already said, okay,
but I think I get where you're coming from now. Like, oh my God, what is she saying? How could she be talking as if to say the Igbos just deliberately don't want to do anything or this or that,
or we just
ignoring the obvious? I get
ignoring the obvious, or we just wanted to fold our arms and we're being killed or being excluded and things like that. Nobody wants that for themselves. Nobody wants it, but we see it on a day-to-day, and there's no backing down. There's no backing. You just showed now how they're currently demolishing places in Alaba. Have they given you a genuine reason why that is going on, and especially in that particular part of Lagos? Has anyone actually pointed out to you and said to you, this is why we're doing it, this is what the reason why we want to do it? But it's being done today because you don't need it. You're seeing that people don't need an explanation. And then again, sorry, back to Dangote, I just want to ask, are any of his companies publicly listed? Are there any of his companies publicly listed?
Is listed. His refinery is listed, even though it hasn't produced anything to be sold yet. It's listed. Okay. What else is listed? His flour mill is listed. Dangote flour is listed. These are publicly listed companies that people are buying shares.
Okay. I think if people want to really know whether Dangote's credentials as a billionaire and as a businessman, you need to request for his their records and see whether or not those businesses are actually making any kind of profit. What does he do with the profit? How does he generate profit at the end of the day? If you really want to say that this man is a businessman and that he's not a beneficiary of a corrupt government, he has been a beneficiary from the get-go of government policies and whatever, and he has access.
He has been given the government subsidy many times. She also acknowledged that. She was also just saying that that subsidy was meant to be for everybody. So if you are a businessman, you should access it. If you are this or that, but it is not really that easy. That's your own point, right? That your own point is that don't say because this thing is existing, right? We know it does exist, but we also know those benefiting it. We know those that won't.
Exactly.
Right? So
we know
don't
those
say, don't say
exactly.
those who are not benefiting are not doing the right thing. Like
And
those
they're
who are
not doing the right
benefiting.
thing.
That means you are ignoring the obvious, and that's like misleading.
You're ignoring the day to day. You're even ignoring the things that we've even heard today on your show. You're saying don't consider all of those things. And I'm saying you have to consider all of those things. And again,
you have to.
The Igbo man has been able to exist in that entity.
And I don't think there's anybody that lobby more than the Igbos. When it comes to Igbos trying to kind of get something done, whether they want to start their businesses in this area, Igbo, if they want to buy this land in this area, and you talk about paying the Omoniles, paying these elders, buying this for that, Igbos are so convenient to the point that, right, the non-Igbos, right, the non-Igbos in Yoruba land, they don't like to compete for land with Igbos. They say they will beat them to it. So I get your point. So when you are deliberately institutionalized racism against you, there's nothing you can do. There's no how smart you are. They will still get you.
Exactly. They'll still get you, and they'll still try to create policies that will still, hamper you at the end of the day. And we should ignore that. And that's the reason why we're fighting for what we're fighting for. That's why we are saying, we are pushing for all of these protests, all this, let us have a referendum, let us agree. Then when you have that society where, you don't have any of this, what's it called?
Equality, fairness, equity, fairness, justice, even rule of law.
Exactly. Then you can talk to me about lobbying. You can talk to me about, using the ways of the smarts of the world to get around certain things. Then we can have that conversation. But for now, let us tell ourselves the truth. We have a big problem, and you come in and saying, okay, let's minimize that problem and highlight this other thing. No, I don't think it's fair, and I think that's the only thing I wanted to point out today.
Thank you, Charm. Right? Something they said that we should let the women lead the world. There will be no war. Only just a few countries who are not talking to themselves. You know what I mean?
All right,
bless you. Yeah. So that's some brilliant stuff. Okay. So women are very good in leading. So they say that if we want the world to be better, let the women lead it. Okay. You will never see any war, just as some few countries who don't talk to one another. So I don't talk to German Chancellor. When last did you see the French president? Say no, I don't talk to her. I don't talk to her. We don't talk to French. And the French will be like, we too, we don't talk to Germans. Here. Hello.
Hello, Mayego.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Chooks. I'm calling from United Kingdom.
Bless you, Sir Chooks. And this is my own name, Mayego, and you are welcome to the Temple of Truth. How are you, sir?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good. When we talk about Dangote, people might not understand why Nigerians are angry. There's a lot of business. What is going on within Dangote's environment is going on everywhere in the world, and I agree with that. Yeah. You lobby, right? Not just you lobby. You put your money there.
Sometimes you
as well.
Put your money into the politics too, to put publicly support.
Yeah, not
your
sometimes.
choice.
You have to.
That's
you have to.
World,
it's not sometimes.
Yeah,
not in Nigeria. But what we are crying about is if you make it fair for everybody, if you allow everybody to do the same thing, and do it in a fair way, not as bribe, not as anything, nobody will be crying here. So we know, like the previous speaker, caller before the last one, right? She spoke like an English or a white lady, She just spoke like a white lady who knows nothing about racism. That's how I view her speaking. And these are the kind of people who will sell out. These are the kind of people who will sell out to get to that position. And that is what she's advising the Igbos to do. That is exactly what she's advising the Igbos to do.
Is that how you see
Hell
it?
no. That's how I see it. That's my own opinion.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you are not in that, listen, you know why I said she spoke like a white lady who knows nothing about racism, right? A white lady who knows nothing, they're not, the racism exists, right? But wherever she goes, she get what she wants. She don't care. She doesn't understand what it means to be another color in that environment. Why do I say so? When we look at racism today, there's no kind of lobby you do to get out of it. And we have thousands of examples. Philippe Meguale is the current or the